In this lesson, we are going to learn how to actually find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay? Remember, not all matrices have inverses. So, if we have a 2 by 2 matrix, and you want to find the inverse, we're going to let A equal A, B, C, D. If the determinant of A is not 0, then the inverse exists. So as long as the determinant is not 0, it has an inverse. Right here is the formula for finding the inverse of A. It's equal to 1 over the determinant of A. Remember, the determinant of A is just a value. That's A times D minus B times C. That's what the determinant of A is. Notice what happens here. We take our original matrix here, we got A and D in here, but here in my new matrix, it's switched. So you switch those, and then the B and the C, you keep those where they're located, but what you do is you change the sign of them. All right, so let's do a couple of examples here. Determine whether each matrix has an inverse. If it has an inverse, find it. So, let's look at our first matrix. Let's call this matrix A. I want to know, does this matrix have an inverse? Well, first, I have to figure out what the determinant is. The determinant determines whether a matrix has an inverse. So we're going to multiply these again. 2 times 3 is 6. And then we're going to subtract 1 times 4, which is 4. So the determinant of matrix A is 2. Since it's not 0, that means it has an inverse. We can find the inverse. So let's find the inverse of this matrix. So it's going to be 1 over the determinant. And we determine the determinant to be 2. And then I'm going to multiply that by the following matrix. Remember this one, I switched those numbers. So the 3 and the 2 switch. And then the ones that I got circled in green, remember we keep them in the same spot, but what we do is change the signs. All right, so final step now. The determinant, the inverse of A would be the following. So what you do with this 1/2 is you take the 1/2 times each of these elements. So 1/2 times 3 is 3/2. Just leave it as a fraction. Don't write it as a decimal. 1/2 times -4, -2. 1/2 times -1, -1/2. And then last 1/2 times 2 is 1. So this is the inverse of this matrix up here. If I was to take this matrix, let's call it A, and times it by its inverse, remember I would get the identity matrix. I would get the matrix that had 1, 0, 0, 1. That's how you can check it if you want to. You don't have to check them. All right, let's look at B. Determine the determinant. Let's find the inverse of this if it has one. So we gotta find the determinant first. So let's calculate the determinant. 3 times 6 is 18. And then it's always minus 2 times 9, 18. 18 minus 18 is 0. The determinant of B is 0. Since it's 0, it doesn't have an inverse. You can't find an inverse. There isn't one. So no inverse exists.